Hello everybody and welcome back to Us and A Dice movie reviews. Now y'all, if you're used to this channel, whatever, you're gonna be like, what happened in the background? What's going on? Well, I'm on vacation. So this is one of the bedrooms here. We're in the mountains right now. So excuse probably the audio, the lighting, the hat here, all that, okay. But that's not the reason why we're here today. So this is, you already saw the thumbnail, you know what this is about. It is about the latest episode of Dexter. Okay, so before we go any further, y'all, this whole video is spoiler alert. This is for episode 8. So if you don't want to know anything that happens with it, whatever, then don't watch this video right now, because we're just going to be talking about some of my thoughts about a couple of the main takeaways from the episode, some theories, that kind of stuff. So again, if you haven't seen it yet and you care about spoiler alerts, then go watch it and then come back and dish with us. So all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, Dexter comes out right now on Sunday mornings. And today I'm filming this, I believe it's Wednesday. I'm kind of in vacation, time zone, you know what I'm saying? Where I don't really know what day or time it is. But I do know that I watched it last night, finally. And I was sitting here, screaming at the iPad, okay? I was like, no. So I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are on it and, your response to some of my things that I might have to talk about. Now, again, the way I've been kind of doing these little, Dexter episode reviews, I've got my phone right here, so I'm just going to kind of be reading some of my notes that I wrote on it. So this is going to be casual, not super edited kind of a video where I just talk about some of the things that happen as well as what I think is going to be going down the line. So let me just look at my notes here real quick. So first of all, let's talk about the obvious thing going on. Dexter, where we left off in not season, episode 7, he was being kidnapped by that dude. And so, he's got him. And so this is one thing overall with this, where do you go from here? Clearly we're getting towards the end of the season. Everything is coming to a head. It's getting oh my God, right? So we very quickly learn, okay, one of Kurt's henchmen is kidnapping Dexter while Kurt is trying to hone in on Dexter's son. The cat's been out of the bag. Kurt knows that Dexter killed his son. This is no secret. Dexter knows that Kurt is a serial killer. All this is out there, right? So now we're going to this whole thing of, oh my God, right? Kurt is picking up Harrison. He's going to try and manipulate him. Dexter is being kidnapped by this dude. Of course, Dexter finds a way to get out of it. Dexter tricks this dude. And so here's my thing. Once they wreck the car, this is in the beginning of the episode, I was just the things that are happening, how do you go back from this? How do you save yourself from this? This is one of the things that I think that the show Dexter does really well, is they create this situation where how can he ever come from this? How can he ever get past this scenario? And he always seems to, right? So when he ends up killing this dude, right, he's been blowing up Harrison's phone, don't trust Kurt, yada, yada, yada. Harrison's been going along with it. We'll get to that part in a second. So once Dexter officially, kills Kurt's henchman that has kidnapped him, again, I was where do you go from here? This is a messy kill for Dexter. This is a survival kill, right? So, he traces him to the wood. Dexter's blood is all through the woods now. The car's wrecked on the side of the road, the whole 9 yards, right? So I'm just what is he going to do? What's he going to do? So then, of course, Dexter gets the phone. Now, during this whole time, we're seeing Kurt kind of, manipulate Harrison. He takes him to the school. They break in. They do the baseball thing. And for a minute, I was Harrison's going to snap and kill Kurt, right? I'm still not, that we still might see that happen eventually, but I'm referring to, again, I'm assuming you've seen this if you've watched this, so that's why I'm not filling in all the blanks here. I'm just kind of literally having a conversation as if we were meeting up for coffee, right? But when Kurt took him to the school and he was teaching him how to hit the baseballs, and then he did it with a curveball and it hit Harrison on the side, and he's like, do it again, and it was sparking that anger, and we saw that coming about. Again, Kurt plays to that with Harrison, and he really extracts that from him. So then when he took him to the house, he was like, we're gonna go to the cabin in the woods and have some scotch. I was like, oh my God, right? I was like, this is, oh my God. So they're doing that. Dexter's blowing Harrison's phone up. So at one point, obviously, Kurt's like, I have to go take care of something. And he comes back in his kill outfit, right? With the gun and all that. And I was like, oh my God. I knew that Dexter was going to somehow intervene some way or whatever, but I was just like, what is going to happen here? So obviously what we end up seeing happen is Dexter does intervene, and the guy Kurt runs off in the woods. Dexter and Harrison hop in the car, they go, whatever. So now we're going to talk about some other things. I just quickly summed up that little storyline of episode 8. So we're leaving off at, my God, now Harrison knows that Kurt is bad, right? Kurt is dangerous. He tried to kill him, so on and so forth. So then I think one thing that we see a resolution, even though it's weird, but I think that's what Dexter does, not Dexter the character but the show, is it inverts these expectations, right? That's why so many people are like, I know Dexter's a killer, but I like him because it inverts that. He's killing bad people, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, he's still a serial killer. So I think one thing that a lot of people, I know myself, are like hoping to see is this connection between Harrison and Dexter. And Harrison does kind of have that conversation with Kurt. He brings that out. You're looking for a connection. You're looking for this, that. So finally we see Dexter being honest with Harrison and not fully saying, look, I'm, a killer and all this, but him saying, I have these urges. I have the things towards violence. We are very similar in this way, so on and so forth, right? And Harrison hugging him and having that moment, and that's like the resolution, or not the resolution, but that moment of, okay, they finally gave it to us, right? Because regardless of what's going on, we want to see that. And I think that's something that the show has been working to, is for Dexter to kind of not help out, but the same way that Dexter was describing how his father taught him basically how to be a killer, and go by this set of rules and all this. I think Dexter's going to have to do the same for his son, and I think that this episode showed us that Dexter realizes he can't avoid his son from being any of these things and try and change that. He's going to have to teach him how to manage it, if that makes sense. Okay, so now let's talk about, and then we'll kind of round it all out. Let's talk about the other storyline, and you have to don't mind Buster in the scene. Usually it's Roscoe with me. This is our other dog, Buster. But the other thing that's going on is Dexter, whatever you want to call him, his girlfriend, chief of police, she is discovering who he really is, right? And that adds this whole new layer of tension, okay? That's just this whole new, like, oh my God, how are we going to get out of that? So a big thing with this is his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, whatever you want to call her at this point, finding out about this initial drug dealer, right? Remember, Dexter found out that this was the guy that his son got the stuff from that he almost OD'd on. So Dexter has this whole moment where he goes over to the restaurant and he's gonna do his own deed with him. And so he sticks the guy in the neck, does all that, but the guy, it doesn't go out Dexter's way, right? And so the police chief is like, we've known she's been suspicious of Dexter. So she talks to the dude, he tells her that, and she's like, this is all these little things about Dexter she's catching on to, right? So then once she goes a little bit further and looks into the actual manufacturer who allegedly OD'd, and again it turns out he has the same needle mark that the other guy did, and she's looking into the ketamine and all that. So again, she's on to Dexter, right? We've been anticipating this. We've known this is going to happen. It's a dynamic that the show has to have, right? I think before, in the previous seasons, it was Deb, it was other people, but I do believe that the chief of police, his girlfriend, is the equivalent of Deb to a degree, just not as annoying as her character was in the previous seasons. So I think that that's what's going on. I think that she will get closer and closer. I think that one of the unfortunate things is she'll probably end up dying by Dexter's hand to some level. The only reason I think she might not is because she could, possibly need to be around for a device, right? So imagine if they had killed Deb off soon into the previous seasons. It would have made sense, right? Personal connection. She's also a police officer. Same thing going on here. Dexter could easily get out of the situation with the ex-girlfriend and play it off. He's a master at this. She would be no issue, but he's going to have a lot to clean up after that. And this is going on the assumption that there's going to be another season. From the sounds of it, what I've read, and I'm curious what y'all have heard, they're kind of making it sound like we weren't really intending to do another season. This was kind of meant to tidy up the end of the story and be done with it. I personally think this show has probably done really well for them, and money talks, and they'll probably do another one, right? So that being said, I do think that let's jump over here. So there's the thing with the girlfriend. She's onto Dexter's trail. She's gonna be onto his trail, and that's gonna get closer and closer. So I think she's either gonna be killed by him or by someone, obviously, but it would be more dramatic if it was Dexter, or it's just gonna be that tension that goes in and out. One thing we didn't see a lot of this episode that I think is intentional is the podcaster. I still 100% think she is going to get taken out by somebody. I think it's going to possibly be Dexter. I would have thought that at this point she would have been deeper into Dexter's background, but I think what could happen is, because remember episode 7, the podcaster girl was like, I would do a deep dive on your boyfriend if, you know, he wasn't your boyfriend. I think we could possibly see her and the cop reunite again over Dexter and doing a deep dive on him. So remember, she also, and when who made by she is the chief of police girlfriend, she was starting to look into the killer down in Miami. So I think she's going to discover, someone is going to discover who Dexter is. It's either the podcaster or the chief of police. Now, that being said, so where do I think this is headed towards? I think that this episode was like setting up an even bigger situation that's going to go on for the next episode, or however many more there are. I honestly don't even know, I should know this, how many episodes there are in this season. So I'm going based on, I feel like it's almost drawing to an end, because it has to be. I mean, I'll look it up after we record this. I should have done it before, but I didn't think about it. So I think we're going to see more from the podcaster next episode. I think that we're going to see, obviously, the tension about his girlfriend get even more twisted and whatnot. And we're also going to see the relationship develop with Dexter. Now, clearly, a huge loose end is Kurt. Something is going to happen to him, because the cat is 100% out of the bag now. Kurt can't let these people continue on. So it's almost like Dexter or somebody's going to have to take him out very fast. We could see the father and son unite over this kill. I do think we will see that at some point. So we'll see. So that's it. These are my thoughts. I'm very curious to know what you think is going to go down, how you think it's going to go down, why you think it's going to go down. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for joining me on my little vacation. I will be back in the office next week, but I'm checking my phone religiously so I can see what you think of Dexter. I will be obviously watching it this Sunday morning. If anyone else knows of any other shows that would be fun to review like this, because I find it difficult to do them when they dump them all out at once, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just watch them all at one time. But the way they did Dexter, I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm here for it, and it's easy to do. So if you have any suggestions of like shows that come out like once a week, whatever, just let me know, that are good, obviously, and horror based. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for joining me as always, and until our next little Dexter movie binge, I'll see you back here.